Hey everybody, welcome back to Married
with dragons.
with Dragons.
Dragons.
Did we get any dragon action this week? We got a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Is there a little dragon action?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here
I gotta say, just since you brought up the dragons, I don't feel like there's really been as many dragons as they acted like there was gonna be.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're only halfway through the show. They set up the expectation, though, that there's going to be, 17 dragons?
So many dragons, but what did they mean by that? Did they just mean what it's been, kind of in the background,
I don't know. Hopefully they come. I mean, they made a point to say they all had personalities.
I know.
I don't feel like we've really saw that, but
they're going to do that in the last 5 episodes? I don't know.
I guess, I mean, what have we gotten dragon action-wise? We got some in the opening scene last week.
We've
with them attacking the crab people. Or was that the week before? Was that last week or the week before?
Oh, I don't know.
Actually, I think that was episode 3.
My thing is, there's a difference in just seeing the dragons flying by, in the background or just, quickly, whatever. I want to see the dragons.
You want to get to know them.
I want to see their face up close.
Yeah. Yeah. You want the dragons to have a wedding, I think they deserve it at this point.
I don't know about a dragon wedding, but
look, we're here to talk about episode 5 for House of the Dragon.
We are already halfway through the show.
We're halfway through the show. We're a day late on this because you weren't feeling the best yesterday, so we decided to push this one more day.
Yep.
And so we're talking about it here tonight. So hopefully, everybody's seen it by now. We're going to be spoiling the heck out of this thing.
Yeah.
But let's get into the chat real quick, see what we got. We got 10 people in here. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, we would appreciate it if you hit the like button.
Come on.
Have Cheetah will view us here. Says, have a great stream.
With your dragon wing.
Smack it with your dragon wing. Good one. I like that. Have a great stream. I sure hope you are liking the series. We are.
We are liking it.
Lance Jackson's in the chat. He says, hello, Ken and Miss Shell. I'm just at home doing a Blu-ray and DVD marathon. So right now I am watching The Intern, Robert De Niro. I haven't seen that one.
Nice.
I haven't seen that one. Silent Attacker says, hello, what's up?
Hello.
What is up? Salante. Is that how you say it?
Silver Bullet.
What's up, Silver Bullet? Ken and Michelle, I've been enjoying House of the Dragon. Mostly it's okay, though.
Oh, man.
We can get into that a little bit later to see, to talk about just how it's holding up for us at this point in time. We were super high on it the first couple episodes. I know we have some issues already out of the gate with the dragons. Hello from Rancho Cucamonga, says James Lamb.
All right.
That sounds exotic. Monster Seamley says, are you guys going to watch Goodnight Mommy 2022?
We might.
We just might, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
We got to find some time, guys. There's just not enough time.
I mean, we got Chucky movies to watch that we don't want to watch, and it's a whole thing.
I know, right?
Dimension Scott says, hey, what's up, you two? Glad to catch the live. What's up, man? Yeah, we're going to talk about House of the Dragon. I am sorry you are feeling good. He wishes that you were still not feeling good.
I think he's sorry that I felt bad. Yeah. I'm feeling
What do you mean by that,
now.
Sound? You want her to feel bad again? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better today.
Matt Smith's character is great, still an evil shite nonetheless. Oh, I forgot to write that down. What happened in the opening?
Oh my God, how could you forget that?
I definitely didn't want to miss that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if there any criticism we have on the show, at least from my point of view, Matt Smith is now one of them. He's the shining star of the show, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Dimension Scott says, so far the show's very good. And Monster Seamly says, apparently the new Jeepers Creepers is awful. Well,
I have heard. I had no intention of seeing it. No intention.
See, I meant to
even
say
if it
I'm
was
glad
good.
She's feeling better. Okay, so let's just get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about.
Ken has a stream after this one, so we gotta
try to get in and out in 45 minutes.
In and out.
That's what she said, right?
Yep. So, okay, you talked about the opening. Let's just get into it.
So yeah, it opens up with Damon. He's at I don't know where he's at. I know where he's at. Is it the damn it? It's the islands, the fingerlings. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm not good at that. I'm sorry.
He's where I think he's damn it. I wish I should know this, but I don't. Anyway, he's in the land where his wife is.
Right. Where he should be.
Yeah. And he visits his wife and he kills her.
Well, yeah, this is the first time that we've only heard him talk about her up until this point, and we don't really he doesn't paint her very well, but you kind of know just from Damon that that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just that he is not into her. But from how he talks about her, you would think that she's very ugly and just not what he wants. And when we get her, um I mean, I didn't think she was that bad. Like she definitely wasn't some, horrid, ugly.
No, I think it's just because she was a strong woman, and he probably isn't attracted to that.
Well, I
Well, I
think
mean, he obviously
that
is with Rhaenyra, but
I think she was that way though because of him, because he's
yeah.
an asshole to her. And so yeah,
Well, she was all like armored up and stuff, and like she was ready for battle. Like she wasn't no maiden or anything.
So yeah, she's on a horse and she sees Damon and she's basically like, what are you doing here? Like, I know we're married, but like obviously he's never around. And I don't know, I forget why he went there. I don't think it was necessarily to do what he did.
Well, they talked about that in the after show,
right?
And they were talking about how the way that Matt Smith played it was like you couldn't really tell what he was there for. Like, was that what he wanted, or was he just there to like give her shit,
right,
or something, or I don't know. Like it was never really clear. But anyway,
so she gets bucked off the horse.
Yeah, he like spooks the horse, right? Like he initiates that, right? Like it doesn't just happen out of nowhere.
She makes a comment, yeah, and then so he, gets pissed, spooks the horse. The horse bucks her off, and she basically like gets paralyzed. I think
she
like
can't
lands.
Move.
Yeah, she can't move, and he's gonna just walk away and leave her there, and then she makes her comment. I knew you couldn't finish the job, and so he grabs a big rock and. You see him walking over to her, and then it cuts the scene. We don't see it happen, but he does kill her.
Yeah, you hear about it later on in the episode.
And no one says that Damon killed her. They blame it on a horse accident. But most of the people that know Damon are speculating that he probably did it.
I thought that this was interesting because up until now, like when you view Damon, you kind of he's an asshole. He's a prick. Like he's capable of bad things.
He would do that.
But this is easily the most villainous thing that he's done,
right,
on the show. So when he did this, I was like, oh, are they like? Is he going like full blown heel? Is he like the main villain now? Which
I mean,
they kind of walk it back a little bit when he shows up to the wedding.
Yeah. Well, he ends up. I don't know if you want to go into this next, but he ends up, after this happens, he goes back to King's Landing, even though the king has basically told him not to return again.
Yeah.
He ends up coming back, just in time for Princess Rhaenyra.
Princess Rhaenyra and Laenor Valerian. Is the young man that she is married to. Viserys makes a deal with the sea snake.
Yep.
Valerian.
This is what most of the episode was about, was the wedding. And so, like you said, the king, as we've been seeing it build, he is definitely very ill, and he's just getting worse and worse. And he knows that he needs to get his, at first we saw that he was going to kind of give the princess a chance to find her own match. And I guess she wasn't really acting on it. And so he's like, listen, I'm sick. I need to get you married. And so he makes a deal with, what'd you say their names were?
With the Valerians.
The Valerians.
The Valerons. I think is what it is.
Basically the twins, how the king was going to marry one of the twins, in a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And they're very much more grown up now.
Yeah, much more grown up.
I forget do you remember how much time has passed for this episode?
I mean, it's got to be at least 5 or 6 years since the second episode, because the girl that the king was, they were trying to get the little girl with the king.
But
she's like 16 or 17 now.
Right, but I'm trying to say, was there any time jump between 4 and 5? I
I'm
can't
sure
remember.
that there was.
Yeah, we're clearly not super prepared tonight.
Yeah,
Prepared
I'm sure that
tonight.
there was. They seem to be doing like a year time jump, like at least every episode. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there was another time jump in there somewhere.
Yeah.
You can always
So
tell by how pregnant Allison is,
I
or
know,
if they
right?
have another
Right.
kid or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't think they really like come out and say it. It's just something that you have to kind of pick up on. I
Right.
don't know if it's like too important to the plot itself, but
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been times where they like say it,
yeah.
but yeah. So we basically see they make the trip to where the Valyrians live.
Yeah, I don't know.
we're so
It's a nice looking place.
so
It's got some nice wet beaches that they're walking
right.
on.
You see the king getting seasick, or I assume it's seasick, but it's probably also a little bit of his illness or whatever.
Yeah.
And
He's
everybody's
definitely
looking
getting a lot sicker.
right. Everybody's looking super concerned about him. And then we get a scene with the princess and her what is he called? The protector.
Kristen Cole.
Yeah. So we kind of get a scene of them. Was this on the way back though? Or on the way
That
there?
was on the way back,
Okay, so
because
I'm
they
skipping
didn't
ahead here.
know what they were doing until they got there.
Right. So
Because
they get there. They get there. And basically it's kind of like the queen that never was and
Yeah.
her husband. They don't even come out to greet the king. And the
Yeah.
king's kind of like, where is he? What is this? Like, I'm the king, he should be out here. And basically the two twins, their kids come out to greet them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just kind of like they say that they just got back from somewhere or something like that.
Yeah,
that's their excuse.
So the king proposes marriage
Mhm.
to the sea snake. I always want to say snee snake. To marry his daughter off to his son.
Right.
And I forget what the rules were, but they had some.
Well, their intentions are definitely to get the queen who never was in there.
Yeah, so it's something like they're going to take the Valerian name when they get married, but when they have a firstborn son, he will be Targaryen or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Right.
But Rhaenyra, the way I took it, her last name's going to change. And when they have a kid, that kid's last name is going to be Targaryen.
Gotcha.
Is what I got from it. That was
Gotcha.
that was the compromise that
was
they
their
made.
Yeah. Their stipulation, right? Is that
their,
the word?
Their stipulation.
Is
yes.
that the word you
would
say?
That is correct.
And so I'm trying to think. So then we get this scene where the princess and the one that she's going to marry, they're, having this nice walk out on the beach. And we kind of find out that.
Now, if there's anything that signifies there was a time jump, it's probably this scene, because you can kind of tell it's been a little bit since they first had sex, which was last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just by how involved he seems to be with her at this point. Whereas we talked about
I'm not
last
talking
week.
about him. I'm talking about the guy she's going to marry.
Okay. Yeah.
When they're walking on the beach.
We'll continue.
I was just going to say, we get this scene where the princess and.
That you didn't pick up on at first, but I did.
What is his name? The one that she's going to marry.
His name is Lenore.
I know you already said it.
Lenore. Lenore Valerian.
Oh, man, these names. Yeah, so they're basically out on the beach talking about this arrangement that their parents have made. The parents are still up at the castle talking. And, the princess is basically like, listen, this is what our parents want. We're just going to do it. But let's basically have an open relationship. And we find out that the guy she's marrying is actually gay or bisexual.
Yeah. Which I picked up on that when she was talking. She's like, I like goose, but I don't like duck. She was trying to compare,
Yeah, and I missed that.
tastes.
Usually I'm good at picking that stuff up, but I did miss that part.
You're like, well, maybe it just means that, they're just not each other's type. I was like, no.
Yeah. So we find out that he's, I'd say more gay than bisexual, but
yeah, he's clearly gay. He has a lover. It's also his knight. I'm pretty sure it's his guard,
right?
Which is the same
like
as her,
or whatever. And so they basically are like, okay, yeah, like we got to get married because this is just this is duty calls and this is what we have to do. But yeah, let's still have an open relationship so we can still be with who we want to be with. And that's that. And so then they pretty much leave. And then that's when we see the princess talking to her lover or her guard guy who you just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And she's basically like, listen, he wants to go run off and get married and leave, have her leave the kingdom behind. And she's like, no, I can't do that. Like, I want to rule one day. She's like, but listen, we can still be lovers. Like, my husband to be is okay with it, And he's just like totally heartbroken,
Yeah, he tries to get her to run away with him.
He's like, you want me to be your boy toy, basically?
She's like, I'm not into picking oranges, dude. She was like, I'm poised to be the queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. And so, yeah, he's very upset. And I was telling Ken, that it's kind of hard because they are doing, the time jumps and everything. And we haven't seen a ton of their like relationship building or unfolding.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can tell there's something there, like a missing piece between this episode and last episode.
It's just it's hard to be like really invested in their relationship. So it wasn't like emotional for me or anything. I didn't really, care that much about it. I'm like, whatever,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
And so that was pretty much it. Like, they kind of left it at that, and she's gonna be the queen, and if he's not okay with it, then oh well.
And I just want to say, the whole time that we're watching all this stuff, we didn't really open with talking about how this episode does have a big, like, holy shit moment at the end of it. But the whole time,
we're not to the end yet.
We're not to the end. I know. But the whole time we're watching this, like, we know, like, there's something that's going to happen because it's been teased. Like, they've been showing.
In the preview,
it was in the preview. People fighting at the wedding.
We knew it was going to happen at the wedding. We knew the wedding was going to happen in this episode.
What happens at weddings in Game of Thrones, and they're, like, playing it up. They're teasing it. So the whole time we're watching the episode, I'm just trying to figure out, like,
what's going to happen,
who's like going to get, like, who's getting pissed off enough to want to do something violent at the wedding. I'm like, so obviously they're setting up all this stuff, they're putting all these pieces into place, but I'm just kind of wondering where the violence is going to come from. Like, and I'll be honest, most of the time I was thinking it was the sea snake and his wife, the queen who never was. I thought that they were maybe hatching a plan that once they were in the wedding, they were gonna, like, try to kill them all or something. Like, that's what I thought it was. But it's not nearly as sinister as that. But yeah.
So before we jump into the wedding, the main event, if you will, there also was kind of this really, like, emotional scene between Alicent, right? The queen, basically.
Alicent Hightower.
And her father, Otto Hightower.
I
do remember his name, and of course, he's gone now. But
those are easier names to say.
I know, right?
Make those names.
I'll know the name of the person who's gone. But yeah, we found out in the last episode that basically the king dismissed Otto from being his right handsman. Is that what they call him?
Right hand man.
Dismissed him, took
the hand of the king.
The hand of
That's
the king.
What it was.
There we go.
Yeah, the hand of the king.
And so, yeah, Otto had to leave. And, his daughter's still married to the king, though. So she stays. And so we got this really emotional scene to where he was just telling her, basically in his own words, that he loved her, but that she needed to be smart because if she wanted her son to one day rule, she was going to have to do something to get those pieces in place or whatever. And he was basically just like, good luck, and he had to leave. And so
he's like, you need to prepare your son to lead, to rule the kingdom and stop, chasing after this girl and, serving her. Like, you need to
the princess?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like you need to set things up to rule because that's the destiny.
Yeah.
And he's basically, at the end of the day, I think that Otto Hightower knows, like, we may want Rhaenyra to rule,
right?
Because she's the lead of the show.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, he knows in his mind that if she goes to rule, like, it is going to lead to war. Like, people are going to try to come in. They're going to try to take over. They do not want a woman to rule. So it's going to lead to all the other houses going to war over her ruling. So he knows that. So I think that his intentions are kind of pure and good at the end of the day. Like,
see, I mean, I told you that I felt like he actually was good, and you
yeah,
felt
and
like he kind of
I
had
think he is
something.
too. I don't think he's a Littlefinger type character. If anything, he's more of like
Right.
a Varys, like the the bald eunuch
Yeah,
guy
I
from
don't know. For some reason, or not for some reason, I feel like it's rightfully so. I had a lot of sympathy for him, and I hated to see him go because,
Yeah.
who knows, we might see him again in later
I'm
episodes.
sure we will. I'm sure we will.
But it's not like he was in it a ton, but he was a character that I enjoyed or
Yeah.
liked, and so it was kind of sad to see him go.
But
That
it
was an
does
emotional
set up
scene.
a very interesting dynamic because, of course, like we like Rhaenyra, we want her to rule, we want her to be the powerful queen, but it's not
But
necessarily
then,
the right thing for her to be the leader. So it's going to be interesting how
yeah,
we root
so
against her versus Alicent going forward.
you kind of for me, which we can get into it. We haven't talked about this, but for me, this was kind of like a little bit of a turning, because after that, like, scene and moment, like, something kind of just switched in Alicent.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, okay, like, it's time to get down
And
to,
it didn't hurt that she found out some information about
yeah,
Rhaenyra as well.
right.
Basically, found
So
out that
many
she
things.
lied about Daemon, which did not make her happy either. So I think the
Yeah.
decision to, turn on Rhaenyra at this point, I guess, if you want to call it that, is pretty easy for her
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now.
So, I don't know. I was going to say, for me, this was kind of a little bit of a turning point to where, like, I like Alicent more. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I wouldn't hate it if she were to become more in charge or whatever, or
Yeah.
become more of a focal point, I guess, as opposed to the princess.
She is probably, like, honestly, the most sympathetic character at this point on the show.
Right.
Like, everything that she's had to go through
Or like
wasn't necessarily
logical and
her choice.
yeah. I'd say
Um,
like logical, like
yeah, logical.
straight. What's the word? Straight headed, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm trying to think what comes next. You want to just get into the wedding?
Yeah, we can jump into well, it's not, I guess it's like a wedding rehearsal, but I guess it's the wedding too,
It was
because
kind of
they
a wedding
jump to the wedding
rehearsal.
after the
Yeah.
events. But
Something happens and they basically do a shotgun wedding and do it the same night.
yeah,
But it wasn't
so
supposed
the
to be that
hall's
way.
full of people, and the king's up there giving a speech, and then I don't remember who interrupts first. Is it Daemon that interrupts first, or is it
Daemon?
Okay, so
Yep.
Daemon interrupts first. He just comes in and sits down. I was kind of surprised they just let him waltz in there and sit down and not do anything about it.
Yeah, and mind you, up until this point, so this is like a big deal. It's the wedding rehearsal, wedding party, whatever.
Yeah.
And the queen is not there. Everybody knows that she's upset because her father was asked to leave and everything, and so she's not there. She's not sitting by the king, and that's kind of a big deal. Like, it doesn't make the king look good, and he knows that. And so, yeah, I just wanted to make that be known because.
Yeah.
So yeah, Daemon shows up and
he just sits down, and then the king's. I think at this point the king's just so like tired and just over everything.
What I thought too. Yeah,
he just like whatever.
Well, Daemon,
my
when he
brother's
came in,
or whatever.
When he came in, he did kneel. I think.
Yeah,
he did kneel, and basically, the guards were ready to get him. And yeah, the king just kind of says,
and his intentions are clear
down.
by the time we get like, to everybody's like dancing on the floor, because he goes straight to Rhaenyra and tries to, pine for her again and get her back on his side.
Yeah, so
I love you too. You need to marry me.
Yeah, so basically, in the middle of this, the king is about to give like a speech to everybody, and right before he starts his speech, the queen comes out.
Yeah, and that's when Alicent comes out.
Alicent comes out, and she's got this green ensemble.
I will say that's the one thing I didn't love about this moment is why couldn't they just let her walk out? Like they had to have those like stupid guys to the side comment on how she was wearing green, and that means it's the banners of war or something for the high tower. I thought that was a little like you didn't need to explain that, because also they explained it again in the after show. So I was like, you had it in the show to explain it. Why did you have to explain it again?
I mean,
So it
it's
just
kind of
seemed
one of those
kind of
things where I
silly.
guess if you have to explain it, then you probably shouldn't even put it in there.
Yeah, you didn't need to explain it.
Because I'm not sure if if they didn't say that, I'm not sure we would have caught the reference.
Yeah, it was just silly. I didn't think it just felt weird and out of place. I don't feel like Game of Thrones has ever done anything like that.
Yeah, like so direct.
Yeah,
Where
can
they
you
have
imagine
to,
Cersei walking
it's
into a
kind of like
room?
saying the title of a movie in the movie.
Yeah,
It's a little
something
bit.
like that. So I didn't like that.
Yeah. But it was still a cool moment. You know, she walks out head high, head high. Yeah, head high.
Yeah,
I don't know why I can't say
looking
that.
pretty fierce.
And she's kind of like, listen, I'm here. You know, I'm not happy about what's happened, but I'm here and screw all of y'all. And
Looking almost, kind of Cersei-ish
you think?
there for a little bit. Yeah,
Well,
and just kind of
she's
just
not
strong
that,
and powerful,
but not like
like a queen.
evil or
Not
anything.
evil, not yet.
And you know, the king, he looked like he was like pleasantly surprised, but kind of like scared too a little
Yeah,
bit.
kind of like, oh shit.
But he was, you know, I think he was kind of relieved a little bit. Like, okay, maybe she's coming around. Maybe she's not going to hate me forever.
Yeah.
Because like you said, he's
Rhaenyra was
exhausted.
a little scared as well. Looked like, at least the way she played
Yeah,
it.
because
So.
we get this moment to where the queen comes around and she's like, congratulations for your marriage or whatever.
Yeah.
You must be so thrilled or something like that. And the princess is kind of like, okay, yeah, she's pissed about this.
Yeah, I thought it was a good moment because up until now, like we pretty much reviewed or looked at Rhaenyra as a badass since the beginning, or at least ever since she took the dragon to Daemon. We never really saw Alicent that way, but now we do. So now it sets up a perfect power struggle, going forward.
It's definitely a turning point. And so, yeah, like you said, Daemon, like everybody starts dancing and, you know, everybody's having fun and it's all good. And then Daemon pretty much goes straight away to find the princess. And like you said, he's basically saying, is this what you want? You don't want this. You're going to be bored to tears. You know, he's a good man, but like you don't want him. Basically, you want me, you know? And so then it's very clear that he killed his wife so that, you know, this could be a thing more than likely.
And also they mentioned sometime during the show that he's supposed to get some kind of inheritance.
Right.
Like,
and that was also
he's supposed
the
to get
next
the entire like town or something.
Right. That was also his probably other reason to kill his wife is that he gets her inheritance or whatever. And then I'm trying to think. So that's when, you know, we're kind of building. There's like tension building, you know, and all these little things are happening. And then that's when what's the guy's name that she's gonna marry?
Laenor.
Okay, so his lover or his guard or whatever basically goes over to the princess's
Criston
lover
Cole and taunting.
Right. And you know, her lover's already upset because she's basically said, like, you know, I'm gonna be queen, sorry, and if you don't want to be my lover boy, then sorry. So he's already like got this built up frustration, which I think might help you like understand where that came from a little bit more. Because didn't you say you had trouble?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
But so he comes over, basically whispers in his ear, kind of like, I don't know. I'm still a little unclear of exactly what he said, but he's just like, we both need to protect the people that we love, talking about the princess,
our interests and all of that. And so
I don't know.
I mean, we had a scene also that we didn't talk about between Criston Cole and Alicent, where he basically confessed everything to her.
Yeah.
And she basically said, I don't care. Just go ahead and get out of here. You're fine.
She's like, you're free to leave because she's just like shocked or whatever. But I think she's definitely going to use it
later.
Yeah,
she's going to use him to her advantage. Like the wheels were already spinning.
Right. There. And so, yeah.
And that'll come into play at the end of the episode.
For whatever reason, that just like got under the princess's guard, lover, whatever.
Criston Cole.
I'm sorry.
Just call him Mr. Cole.
I'm not going to remember these names ever.
Call him Mr. Cole.
It just got to him. And I mean.
Yeah. And we don't see him engage, you know, the Laenor's lover right away.
No.
We just see a bunch of scuffling in the crowd, and we know something bad's going to happen because we're already conditioned to know something bad's going to happen.
Like in the same area, you know, there's a ton of people, and it's also got Daemon and the princess, and it looks like they're like about to kiss or something.
Yeah, well, and then people swarm in, and then some scuffling starts to happen. So the king automatically thinks,
That
"Oh,
it's
what's
the
going on with my
princess.
daughter? Like
Right.
Damon's doing something to my daughter. He's killing her.
You don't know
Something."
who is affected by this.
Yeah, and then cut to the middle of the crowd,
Yeah.
and Kristen Cole is beating the piss out of that guy.
Yeah,
with the metal of his armor.
And I mean, he just
And
like will not quit. It kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of the one scene in Game of Thrones, with the mountain guy.
the mountain of the back. Well, he squeezes his
Yeah,
head.
that's a little different, but
yeah, same kind of. It's very horrific when he's done, and it's
there
like
might
this
have
guy's
been somebody
dead.
else who did that. Like, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, it's been done in several movies and shows. I feel
Yeah.
like where they just like won't freaking quit, and you're
Most
like,
of the time
okay.
it's just somebody's fist,
Yeah.
and they'll live.
And you can just
But
hear
this
it.
was his metal armor,
Yeah,
just
you're
over and
like,
over again on his face, just cutting his entire face up,
Yeah.
just shredding through it.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah,
like
this is
straight
not
down
good.
to the brain through the skull.
And
Like,
everybody's just like watching in horror, basically, and like,
yeah, nobody acts like they know what to do.
I feel like nobody really stops him very quickly.
The thing that confused, like, nobody arrests him or nothing. I was like, I would think that somebody would
But
like
I think
restrain him.
I think it's because I guess he's a guard and they thought he was protecting the princess or something.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either, because it's not like he was a random person.
It was
like
very
he was
weird.
the soon-to-be husband's guard.
How nobody did anything. I mean, the guy Lanor is like crying and stuff, so obviously it upset him. But like his parents, like they don't try to do anything. Like that's one of their guards.
I mean, they're probably like, it's for the best because our son's gay and it's a
But
distraction.
I'll be honest, when we were watching it, I thought it was Lanor. I thought it was their son that he was beating the shit out of at first. Like I didn't realize it was him. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad because I thought he was trying to take him out so he could, get back with Rhaenyra or whatever in the wedding.
That makes sense. I wonder if they wanted. I was
like, oh, this is gonna be real bad because both houses are gonna go to war now.
I didn't I knew it was him for whatever reason.
Anyway, it was a good moment, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that the motivations were a little CW teen drama.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just didn't feel like it again fit this universe.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. It definitely
but the moment was very good and it was very tense and I was very like on the edge of my seat, like what's going on.
Right.
And I thought that everybody played it really well.
Yeah.
But I just didn't completely buy the motivations. Like I didn't buy that he would get that angry that quick over something so stupid.
And it could be that we completely missed what that guy whispered.
I'm moving my hands again. I'm sorry.
I know, I was doing it too. But yeah, so that was like the big thing, right?
That was a big thing. And then they rush. Basically, the dad, Viserys, is like, all right, let's get him married super quick. And everybody clears out. I guess everybody was like, yeah, we're going home.
It was like a private. It was
we're all going home.
The parents, the priest.
Yeah, and the guy's still in the background dead on the ground. Like nobody
picked him up. It was just blood though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I thought he was still back there but there's like rats eating parts of him and everything.
And the guy that she's marrying, like you said, is very upset because it was his lover. And so he also was like punched in the face, I think, at some point. And so he's like holding his bloody nose and they're getting married. So it's like super not romantic.
Rhaenyra tries to kiss him to consummate it. And then he just kind of
it's a very awkward, not romantic scene. And it's like, if that's going to be in any indication of how this marriage goes, I don't know. Like,
let's get into the chat real quick and then we'll talk about the closing and our closing thoughts. Let's see, trying to.
How many characters have been killed off? Right there. We already read all that.
Okay. How many main characters have been killed off? None. I don't think any yet. No, none yet.
Not main characters.
I've been hearing next week's going to be 15 years or 10 years time jump. Yep. That's one thing we're going to talk about here in a segment. This is the last episode with these actors, or at least most of them. The King's obviously going to be the same and everything. Are you excited for the big time jump next episode? Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't know. I guess we can get into it now. Are you excited for that? Are you apprehensive about it? Or do you have faith in the show?
Yeah, at first I like leading up to this, like knowing that there's going to be the big time jump and we're going to switch actresses. I definitely have like not been wanting to do it because I have enjoyed the actresses that have been playing the parts. But I think I'm ready for it, and I'm sure I'll get used to it. And I'm hoping that they can just make me like really believe that
The
it's still
actress
them.
that they have playing Rhaenyra, like I don't know anything about her. I don't know how she's gonna act or whatever, but she looks the
Quite a
part.
bit
Like
like
she
her.
looks like she could be a badass.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm
And
kind
then
of
it's hard
excited
for
for it.
Allison because like the girl playing her is a pretty known actress.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle when you got Olivia Cook playing. She's
Yeah.
not like super known, like she's not
No.
like a
No.
huge star, but like she is very well known.
I mean, she's probably one of the better known ones in the show besides Matt Smith.
Yeah, her and Matt Smith for sure.
Right? Yeah.
For sure. What's up, Lapke?
Hey.
Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Definitely
There
hit
you
that
go.
like button. She nearly liked her uncle way too much last episode. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Bra? I love the show so far, but I'm not sure if I'll like it after this episode since 11 of the actors are being replaced starting next week.
11.
I know I think Kristen Cole's being replaced because I saw like him in the armor, but he's older. So they're like replacing they're replacing a lot of the actors.
Oh wow.
Which is it's interesting. That's an interesting choice.
It's gonna be like The Crown.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice not to just like cast
and make
slightly
them look older
actors and make them look younger in the other scenes and then make them look older. I have also loved the show so far by his stripes. I was waiting for something to happen at the wedding like in Game of Thrones. Yeah, for sure. Millie Alcock is my biggest reason for watching. I do love Matt Smith. The other actors could be great. We'll see. Yeah, there's no way they're replacing Matt Smith. They could be making a big mistake with the time jump and replacing the actors.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just something we got to see. At this point, I've got enough faith in the show that I'm willing to go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Silent Attacker says, "Hey, Ken and Michelle, did you know in season 3 of Game of Thrones they tell you how Rhaenyra dies?"
Oh wow.
Really?
They probably do.
I did not know that. That's kind of cool. I think it
was.
You mean
she dies? No.
I think
we all die.
I think it was pretty clear, even without the color, that she was putting her foot down. Yeah, it was. We didn't need that exposition there. Hey there, Ken and Michelle. Hey, what's up, Adrian? Did he whisper something along the lines, "We need to protect each other, and I'll make sure nothing happens to you," of sorts?
Maybe. I kind of want to go back and watch just to hear that.
That guy's face looked like mashed potatoes when he was done, and damn, you never forget a scene like that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal.
They did show his face.
He made mincemeat of his face. Crazy. Yeah. The Targaryen family tree shows us that Daemon and Rhaenyra eventually marry and have kids.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Babe, I told you.
Well, you said they got together, but you didn't say they had kids.
No, I said they got married.
Oh, okay. There wasn't much left of the face.
No.
The book also tells you how to answer in perspective of Maester and Mushroom, how was also in the episode, and House of the Dragon tells what actually happened. Nice. Sorry, meant who? I sure hope the new actors after the jump are as likable as the ones we have.
Same.
Let's see. Her Knights had the best gig ever, and he turned it down, shaking my head. You could have had anything, but his dreams killed it. Yeah. Well, his story's not over, though. I think he's going to go on to do some big things because the closing of the episode we didn't talk about, he's out in the courtyard and he's got his knife and he's getting ready to kill himself, like do Harry Carey on himself.
Because he, like obviously after he
dishonored his knighthood.
Does that.
Like he wanted to die. Like that's why he went to Alice in the first place. He was like, "Put me to death." He's like, "I've dishonored my knighthood."
And then obviously after he kills that guy, he's like, "I'm fucked." Like they're gonna.
Yeah, but Allison's the one that came out in the courtyard and stopped him.
She basically catches him, and she's like, stop.
Yeah, so
just very calmly, she's like,
she wants him on her side.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's the thing is about it that when you hype up a wedding and you say it's going to be like a red wedding moment, then somebody compare it to that, and you just have one person die. That is kind of a letdown.
Yeah, but
it's kind of a letdown. But I didn't really expect a bunch of main characters to die episode 5 anyway.
They've said though that they were not trying to be like Game of Thrones as far as killing people off left and right.
Yeah,
they said that.
I mean, they don't have as many characters.
Yeah,
so they can't do that.
I wasn't expecting anything too crazy.
That would be weird to get to know all these actors and these characters and then replace them halfway through. Too bad they couldn't make them look older like you did Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I mean it is hard.
It's different.
You get attached.
It is different.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I guess Mrs. Doubtfire is not the best example.
Not for this show,
I
but
think
hey.
Game of Thrones was popular at that point, but it really took off after that Red Wedding. Yeah, for sure. Like that's that's when I got into it, was after I kept hearing everybody not shut up about the Red Wedding. All the dragons come with the kids next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I mean, the Red Wedding was like the Wild Bunch. That wedding was more like a Scorsese scene. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, yeah. Do you want to talk about? You got anything else you want to talk about?
Well, you just mentioned how it ended, right? Yep.
Expectations. One thing I wanted to talk about is we thought that the king would probably die with the time jump.
So yeah,
and
let's
he
go
does
ahead.
not.
We'll go ahead and talk about the preview that we got for next week.
Yeah.
So we got a preview for next week. And like you said, it's going to be a big time jump, like 10 years or something. We see the new actors coming in, and the king is still alive. And I thought for sure, they would just
he looks rough. He looks very rough.
He looks rough. He's definitely lost some hair. Yeah. He looks like it kind of looks patchy, and his skin looks patchy or something.
But good for him for surviving 10 or 15 more years.
But I mean, his like he was smiling or something in the episode.
He's probably like out of his mind.
He looked like he might be a little kind of crazy. Yeah. And then like someone just mentioned, we see the kids pretty grown up.
The kids are grown. I mean, by this point, depending on what the time jump is, 10, 15 years, but you're talking, they had those 10, kids 5 or 6 years ago at this point. So you're looking at some 15, 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
So old enough to do battle.
Well, we for sure see the oldest of the king and Alicent's kid, the firstborn, the one that basically
Rhaenyra has kids as well. Right. In the preview.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I'm pretty sure they had some like dark complected kids with blonde hair.
I think
looked like Lenore.
Yeah. But yeah, you also see where it looks like they're kind of teaching, the kids how to like be around the dragon and like command them and stuff like that, or dragons.
I don't know. Like I've really enjoyed these first 5 episodes. I think this show has the potential to like really take off.
Yeah.
Like with these in this next phase of it. So
yeah, I do feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we got, the second season.
I feel like this has been a pretty good build up. And, I feel like we're going to have to like get used to the new actors and stuff. But I think, I don't know, I'm pretty confident that they can do it. And I'm still, excited and eager to continue to watch it. And yeah.
For sure. We'll get into these last chats and then we'll cut out of here. Okay. But
we're going to rate it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and rate it. What would you give it?
What would I give this episode?
I would give it I'll give it a 4.
Yeah.
There are things I didn't like about it. But yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Yeah.
It's a solid episode. Like every single episode. I don't think there's been anything under a 4 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the last couple of episodes we've got are as strong as the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
But they are setting a lot of stuff up for this next half.
Right.
Which I think is probably going to be pretty phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, let us know what you all think of it.
Yeah,
my wife is stalling on her score here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 too. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Rhaenyra, but I was rooting for Daenerys, and look what happened to her. Let's not get into how they totally ruined her character. Do you think they ruined Dany's character?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. It was just a hard turn. Like it made sense when you went back and looked at everything that came before it with her, but it was just too much too quick.
I don't know though. I felt like
it was badass though. I loved that burning of the city.
Just quickly about her, I always felt like she was very poised and smart.
But when it was time to do business, like she was fierce. Like she didn't care about murdering some people. Like she had done that several times in the show.
I felt like she was always like very
never on that
logical.
Scale. Never on that scale that she did, but she murdered some effers.
But the thing is like sometimes people are gonna die. Like sometimes people have to die for the greater good, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, I just felt like she was better than that, and but I mean, people go mad. That's what they do. Her dad was the Mad King, right?
I didn't think they handled it as good as they could have, but I liked a lot of stuff about season 8. I'm not going to say I didn't. I thought that the whole burning of the city, King's Landing, was pretty awesome, and the battle of Winterfell was good when you could see it. But
yeah,
let's get into the rest of this chat and then we'll get out. Let's see, Bryce says they've said he'll be dead this season. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
If he makes it all the way through this season.
If I was the king, I would want to try that new therapy that was recommended over leeches.
Right.
None of that will. Yeah, he looked nasty. That arm looked nasty this episode. None of that will work for him. He has leprosy. Topical treatments won't cut it.
What is leprosy?
It's some kind of skin disease.
Yeah.
The king, what's up with his back? The guy's walking wreck. Glad he's about even wreck. So. Yeah. I'm excited too. Hopefully they don't do what they did with Game of Thrones. I'm curious to see if they end the series right when they get to the Mad King.
I know.
Are they going all the way to the Mad King?
Well, I mean, they're getting another season, so I think they'll be able to get there, especially with time jumps.
Wouldn't that be like over 150 years?
Yeah, but think about how many time jumps they've already done.
So we'll get to see Jaime Lannister and Ned Stark and all that. Let's see. They might ramp up the action of the jump to ease people into it. Yeah. And I mean, there's going to be more characters. There's going to be more kids and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Mel? How you doing?
Hey, Mel.
I am late. Sorry, guys. How's everyone doing this evening? We're doing good. Let's see. Exactly, Michelle. She was too logical to go out the way she did.
Yeah, I always just felt like she was very logical and smarter than that. I don't know.
Yeah. But that is House of the Dragon. Episode 5. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about the next 5 episodes, and I'm still really digging the show.
Same.
Still kind of amazed that they're able to pull off this level of quality and get me excited every week like I was for Game of Thrones. So
yeah,
I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed. But appreciate everybody watching. If you're watching on the replay, definitely hit the like button and comment down below.
Leave your score.
What you think of the show. Leave your score. If you're watching us right now, right after we cut the live,
go
comment on the stream your score for
5.
this episode and what you thought of it. Any general thoughts you have, and let us know.
Or comment your favorite character.
Yeah.
I just gotta say though, also, really quickly, is Matt Smith still your favorite?
Yeah, by far.
Is he? Okay.
And he hasn't even been in it as much, I don't feel like. But the scenes that he's in, he steals it every time for me. I love him.
Well, I know that we're like literally wrapping this up, but I just wanted to say quickly too, is talking about the king. Like I've been saying that I like him, but I was reading like comments somewhere about how somebody wished that they had casted someone different for him. And then somebody else replied back and was just like, no, he is like easily like underrated in this role. Like he's doing great. And like I
wouldn't
think,
cast anybody differently on the show. I think everybody's great.
I still really like the king, and I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
Like it's going to be a bummer, when he finally dies as well. But anyway,
absolutely.
That's all I got to say.
Yep. Appreciate it, y'all watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're in here and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment down below. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.